Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon, and welcome to Knowledge Talks, a weekly entertainment and knowledge sharing program aired live specifically to share with you topics that contribute knowledge to the society. Every week, Knowledge Talks hosts and invites guests that are experts, professionals, and leaders from the field that bring wealth of knowledge to you. Knowledge Talks also highlights and promotes talent in the country that contribute knowledge and success to the nation, ladies and gentlemen. This program, ladies and gentlemen, is a weekly session that I will have with you every Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'm your host, Hadeel Al for an hour bringing you free knowledge at your doorsteps on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Okay, stay tuned after this music break for today's interesting knowledge topic and today's interesting knowledge personality. Welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Hadeel Al with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. You must have heard of the term open source in computing and technology sphere. But do you know what does it really mean? Well, my guest this week is Hadeel Al Sayed, the leader of Free and Open Software Society in Sultan Qaboos University, who will share with you all that you need to know about it. The Free and Open Software Society in Sultan Qaboos University is part of CRRC, Communication and Information Research Center, and ITA. Hadeel is a student enrolled in SQ in her 5th year, studying Bachelor, Mechatronics, Power Systems, Engineer College. Member of IEEE student has published a paper in an integrated framework for UGV outdoor navigation system based on LIDAR and vision data. Today, Hadeel is with us here at Knowledge Talks to share about the Open Source Society and the kind of activities it has in store for the community. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Hadeel. How are you doing today?
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm doing fine, thank you.
It is so great to have you here today at Oman Radio FM 90.4.
Thank you for hosting us here.
In fact, I was very, very pleased at the society that you all are having at the Sultan Qaboos University, mashallah. If you could just tell me briefly about the society, when did it start?
It did start in 2010. It was a cooperation between the ITA and the Communication and Information Research Center.
Okay.
Yeah, so we started as students gathered, and we started making workshops and spreading awareness about free and open source software. Yeah, that's a...
Mashallah, mashallah. So that now you guys are 6 years old now.
Yes, we are.
And when are you going to have a party or an anniversary? Anything that you guys are going to plan to do for it?
Yeah, at the end of the year.
Am I invited?
Sure.
Inshallah, inshallah. Today our topic is about the open source, Hadeel. Could you please define what is open source in general?
Well, the term free and open source softwares is not actually a matter of a price. It's a matter of liberty. So the user or anyone is a free license to use, copy, study, or change and distribute the software. Its code is openly shared, so people are encouraged actually to voluntarily improve it, and it's on the counterwise of the closed software, so you can see the code. And
okay.
you can use it, you can do whatever you want with it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So the code is available for you to see, change, and do anything you want in a software. So the code basically here is basically the information or the thing that has been created to build the software.
Yes.
And that is open, everybody can see.
Yeah, everyone can see, everyone can modify, customize, and use. Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Tell me, what is the story behind this free and open source in history, Hadeel?
Yeah. Well, the movement was launched by Richard Stallman in 1983.
Okay.
So it was a GNU project, GNU project.
What does GNU mean, by the way?
GNU, not Unix.
Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
okay. So, actually, the incident was that an annoying printer was there, and they couldn't fix it because it's a closed source. The source code was withheld from users. So that was the first big release. Then the second big release was by Linus.
Linus Torvald.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
mashallah.
Yeah, in 1991, he started the Linux kernel.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, the movement completed their work. They were combining, for example, Linux kernel and the general, and so they created Linux.
They created Linux.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is the history behind free and open source in history.
Yes.
Awesome. Let us take a quick break, Hadeel, right now, and revert back to an exciting discussion on open source and even the great society that you have at Sultan Qaboos University. Welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tariq Al Barwani, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Our guest today is the exciting Hadeel Al Sayed from the Sultan Qaboos University, and our topic today is about open source. Before the break, Hadeel gave us a definition on what open source is, and then gave us also the story behind free and open source in history. Hadeel, tell me one thing. If you use also the term closed source.
Yes.
That's also, I think, known as proprietary softwares.
Yes, you can say.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. Usually it's the paid one. However, you can have it free. These softwares, you can't actually see the source code of the software. So for example, if it has a backdoor or it has something inside working or taking your data or whatever, you can't see anything. You're just using the interface or the purpose of that program or software, but you can't see anything behind it. Runs in the backdoor, runs behind. That's mainly.
So you basically get a software. You get it in an executable format that you can't see anything of it. You cannot see the source code, and you use it at your own risk. That's what you're trying to say.
Yes.
Okay.
However, it depends on your trust for the company that you are, for example, using their products or something. So if you trust that company, you can use its own software. However, they might not be really legally using your information or somehow. However, it depends on the trust of the company.
Of the company.
Yeah.
I really like how you define that and the thought about open source. Can you give me some example of some open source applications and also open closed source softwares?
Yeah, so I can give you actual alternatives for the closed source softwares that are publicly used or used in a very big variety of people. So for example, the Internet Explorer, you have Google Chrome instead. For example, the Outlook, you have Gmails, and then you have Microsoft Office, you have LibreOffice. For example, if you're a user of Adobe Photoshop, then you have GIMP instead, and it's really powerful. Instead of Adobe Illustrator, you have Inkscape, and for example, for media, you have open source VLC media player. Instead, for example,
that's a nice one. I use VLC to watch a number of movies and so on, to play media, and it is an open source.
Yeah, it is an open source application. Yeah.
Okay, so you are an open source fanatic, someone who's excited about open source.
Yes.
Do you use closed source or proprietary softwares?
Sometimes, because we have in our study or in our work in the university. However, I'm a really big fan of open source, and I wish, like, with my knowledge, I can contribute to make softwares that are alternatives for these closed softwares that the university is using. Yes, it would be a very big beneficial step.
Okay, that's awesome. I really like, and that's a very noble thought, mashallah alayki Hadeel. I really respect that fully, of thinking to create something which is open source and also for society to learn and get benefit out of them.
Yeah.
Let us take a quick break and revert back to our exciting discussion on open source. Welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Tariq Al Barwani, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Now, before the break, Hadeel talked about the open source, an example of open source software that are out there, and she also shared about the alternative of open source applications that are out there. Hadeel, tell me one thing. Windows, is it an open source closed software? But why am I sharing Windows? Because it's a software that many people know about.
Well, it's an operating system that is closed software. So,
do you use it or not?
For example, if you're in a university and you are working in a lab, so you have it there.
Really there?
Yeah, but in my own laptops so I use my own operating system, which are open source.
Okay, so what operating system are you using at home? Or on your own machine?
Ubuntu.
You're using Ubuntu, the Linux one?
Yes.
Okay, and why specifically do you use Ubuntu and not any other operating system? There are many other open sources, but why Ubuntu?
Yeah, because you have all the interfaces and you can easily access them. It's a very easy. It's the easiest operating system, and you have you can actually download even closed source packages or softwares on it, and you can work. So it's mainly you can have all the interfaces that you would like to build on or to work on. So yeah, that's mainly why.
Okay, just for the clarity of our listeners today, Linux is an operating system that is an open source, and it's basically a kernel at the end of the day, and the Ubuntu is a flavor of the Linux, where you can have additional application interfaces and so on top of the Linux. Hadeel, a great mashallah open source fanatic, and is also the leader of the society in SQU, is using an open source operating system, ladies and gentlemen, and the operating system that she uses is Ubuntu. Tell me one thing, Hadeel. When you buy a PC, or when you go to any of the stores and buy a computer, most of them come with an operating system that is already built in and installed they're already installed into their machines, and those operating systems are closed software, as you call it, and most specifically they're Windows. Now, I'm sure you bought your PC as well, and you got a Windows as well.
Yeah.
What did you do? Did you format it and remove it?
Yes, and I installed.
So you removed it straight away and put in Linux, Ubuntu?
Yes, directly.
Yeah, okay. Now, could you tell us the steps of installing Ubuntu?
Well, first, then you might have a flash, and then you burn the flash. You have put your own Ubuntu package or the Linux package in it. Then you just install it. It's an installation. It's a very easy interface. You just put it, or you have a CD or something. You just put it in, and then in the boot of your PC, you start installing your own operating system.
Now, where can I get this operating system? Now, when I go to a store, I just can get the Windows already preloaded into my machine. But with an open source, I need to. Where can I get it? So you said you can get it on Flash and CD?
You download it.
Oh, you download it. Okay.
Yes.
So the Ubuntu the one you have, where do you get it from?
I downloaded it from the website. From their website, yes.
Okay, can you share with us the address, please? I think it's ubuntu.com.
Yes, ubuntu.com. Yeah. Okay. Yes. So I just downloaded it. Then I did put it as an image to my flash, and then I just put it in my PC.
And that's it. And it loaded up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you're having a computer is one thing, having an operating system is another thing, and then having different application is a completely different topic altogether. So people have got the operating system. On top of it, got different softwares. You've got Office application for Office, for example, the Microsoft Office. You've got multimedia applications, software development, and so on, depending from one person to another. When it comes to Linux, or Ubuntu specifically, because that's the one that you're using, how do you go about the applications that are out there? Someone uses Office, what will you do about it?
They can actually save it in a different format. You can actually also change it in the internet to be, for example, they use Microsoft Office, so you can change it you can ask them to save it in a different format for you, or you can just change it in the internet. You received it, just put it in the internet in some website, and then change it to a format that you can read in your LibreOffice.
Okay.
Yes.
If someone sends you a Word document is a format from the popular Microsoft Office package that you get, and then it usually saved in document or docx, different format, or so someone sends it to you and you're a Linux user. How can you open this file?
Usually change it to PDF.
Okay.
Yes.
But in order to change it, you need a converter, right?
A converter in the internet. Usually it's very easy.
Okay.
Or sometimes I ask them.
You ask the people who send you the document.
Yes, always in PDF format.
Okay.
As you're a user of an operating system which is a free and open source operating system, usually other people know that you can't, you need it as a PDF. You can't have it as a Word document because you are not using Microsoft Office package in your own PC.
Okay, now that's very exciting information that you're sharing with us, Hadeel. But looking at the market share today around the world is about over 90% of people using Windows. Microsoft Windows, and they have penetrated the market big time. Most of the businesses today are using Windows. Most of the consumers are using Windows. It's an operating system that is everywhere today. Now there are a number of people who are using a Linux operating system, but it's mostly an operating system that is used on servers. Consumers or personal people don't really use this, other than people like you, mashallah, or people who are using hackers and so on, who are using this operating system. Now, don't you find it to be complex to exchange formats with the people who are using Windows? And considering the big market share that Windows has, and people are using it, create document and so on.
Well, it depends on your actual values. I don't accept to be just, in a closed source community.
You want the freedom.
Yeah, yes. So you have to respect your own values. That I use an operating system, which is, for example, here Ubuntu, and people have to respect that. There are millions actually in the world contributing in this movement, and they are contributing to this project because they can see the benefits of it. Even though now we have users, for example, Windows user, Microsoft users, but we are seeing that they are seeing the opportunities that are existing in the free and open source softwares. They are now changing their own PCs. For example, students, all the students that started in our society in the university, they started as, not all of them, we have some people who started as closed software, and after seeing the opportunities, after seeing the chances, after seeing what they can do with an open source system, they changed their PC's operating system.
All of them changed. So most of the students in STU have moved to open source.
Not all students, but all students who started asking questions or are enrolled in our society. All the students in our society have changed to
an open source, and are all of them using Ubuntu? None of them are using Kali, Backtrack, or any of the.
They can use it. It depends on their personality. So if you like this thing, you like, for example, you like Mint, you go for Mint. You like Kali, then they go for Kali. Kali is built on Ubuntu.
Okay.
It's just that it has the programs, applications, softwares that, for example, a hacker needs.
Yeah, So that's why people would go for that. But if one has one flavor of Unix, then he or she can use any of the other Linux packages, right? Or flavors.
You can start. And then you can see, for example, you can always start with Ubuntu.
Okay.
It's very easy.
Ubuntu is the easiest and the basic Linux
it's
flavor.
very strong, and it's the best. It's the best and very easy. So you have all the interfaces. Then if you for example, see that you don't like this thing. For example, you would like to start as a root from beginning, not, for example, as a normal user.
Yeah.
So then you can just go for Kali, for example.
Okay.
It depends on what in your personality directly. It's your personality. You start studying what are the releases, what's there, what are the interfaces, what's the desktop over here and there, what I like to see on my screen, and then you just download that release.
Why did you personally get in open source, Hadeel?
Well, I started using hardwares that are open source. For example, Arduino. That was my start. Okay. And then I've seen the potentials that you can have with an open source firmware or software. I mean, like you can actually modify anything and customize it to your own application or your own purpose. So, and saying that, I can really see everything runs behind. I mean, the security issue is solved here because you can see everything is running behind in the firmware or the hardware or the software. You have the power. You can actually control what's there. You can power it anywhere because it's not acceptable. It's not that isn't acceptable somewhere. It's always acceptable in everywhere. Open source softwares are acceptable everywhere, even in closed source. So after seeing that it has all these potentials, I started searching the internet and how can I start by changing my operating system. So that's directly how I started.
Awesome, very exciting, very good learning shared today, Hadeel. Let's take a quick break and revert back to our exciting discussion today on open source. 90.4 FM. Welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host Hadeel Al Barwani, with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Our guest today is Hadeel Al Sayed from Sultan Qaboos University, a very bright and intelligent student who is very fanatic, very excited about open source. And as you can see, she personally uses open source. And before the break, she spoke about the different software that is available and why she got into using open source, and of course the differences between open source and a closed source. Hadeel, tell me the benefits of using open source.
Well, you have, let's start with decreasing software costs. You have things sometimes for free. It's not always free, but you have a decreased costs usually, because they rely on the support of the software, not exactly the software, because it's an open source. Second, you have, for example, stability and security. You have nothing running backdoor, you are seeing everything, you're controlling yourself, so you can actually protect your privacy. If you have personal data or a confidential data, then you know where it is going. You are not, you're not fooled by any company that's taking, or there is a leakage in the program that is taking your information and data. So you are your own self-owner, controller, and yes, these are the main.
These are one of the benefits. Apart from it being free and also, as you said, visibility to the code and what the thing that it does, and you're the captain of the ship. Yeah. I think that's what it happens, right?
Yeah.
Now tell me one thing. In order for someone to really use open source, they need training.
They can learn it.
Okay.
Yes, it's very easy. It's just
from where? Is it a training institution or so on? Because like when you talk about closed software like Windows and so on, every training institute, for instance here in Oman and so on, they provide that training. But what about an open source? For example,
before you started like going to university or to a company, when you just were in your 4 years old or 5 years old, you started using computer, right?
True.
Was there any training?
No, but for me specifically, I've gone through books and so on, but that doesn't specifically, I'm not sure if that is the case with other people. Maybe people done even better, but I'm just trying to see being general, being very generic in terms. People really tend to prefer going to school to learn to do things. I mean, to drive a car, you need to take a training.
Yes, but sometimes they can start with their own. As most of the people that started using the PCs or Microsoft or Windows operating system, they can just start using the open source ones.
Yeah. Would you say that open source are very easy or easier than a closed software?
Well, there we have everything ready. Sometimes it's not the case for an open source softwares. Sometimes they're not mature enough. For example, you start in a company. Now you can use closed source that is ready. However, if you are developing your company and you have more confidential data, then you are not really trusting that all the information are secured.
Okay.
But you can start with a not mature or a not very mature software that is open source, and then you can customize it. You can get people who are professionals in, for example, in that software. They can customize it for you, and you can build a more strong operating system. For example, you have NASA. NASA uses a lot of secure information. They need something that is stable, reliable. As NASA is using open source operating system, then they are trusting it. So let's take this as an example of why an operating system that is open and open source code and free is better than closed source. And so if you are starting, sometimes it's not mature enough, but you can develop it. Yes. However, just any person can log into the internet and just see websites. We have millions of contributors around the world who are working on open source softwares. So if you're looking for an application, software example, something to train you, you can just open the internet and search. You can just Google
Internet
it.
is a big C, a library, free
Yes.
library.
Yeah, just Google it, whatever you want. And that's the easiest way to learn. However, if you are willing to have certificates and so on, there are organizations, for example, the ITA. In the university, we have some training as in our society.
Awesome. That's very, very nice. Can anyone attend the society?
Yes, anyone can join us, anyone can join workshops, anyone can join. Yeah.
Awesome. We're going to talk more about the society as soon as we get some of the open source clarity today out of you, Hadeel, as being, mashallah, someone who is very professional into this arena, mashallah. Now tell me, so you have the Ubuntu, you can see the source code?
You can see the source code, yes.
Where do you see the source code from?
Well, it depends. If you are you a developer?
Yes.
So what type of open source systems that you're using?
Open source systems?
Yes.
The
Or
Linux
you are
itself.
Linux itself.
I'm using the Linux system, but that is when I wear my IT hat. Today I'm more of a radio host, so I don't wear my IT hat.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, I use the Linux operating system. I've
Yes.
used Ubuntu, I've used Kali, and the rest.
As a kernel, can you go to the kernel?
No,
Yes. So as a developer, you used to see the source code.
true.
Yes. This source code, you can understand it easily?
Yes,
Oh.
very easy because once you know one language,
Yes.
then the others become very easy. It's just changing from one language to another, so English to Arabic, Arabic to Swahili, Swahili to a different, whatever, Chinese. It's just come, it's all the same, just more of different verbs that is available. The different from one language to another is syntax.
Yes.
So that would be, that's at least in my very humble understanding in computing.
Yeah, mashallah, that's good. So you are a developer.
No, because I'm learning from you. Attending the sessions that I come from you, that's where I learn, Hadeel.
Yeah.
Now tell me one thing. Can you use open source for business?
You can use it for business.
Okay.
Yes, you can use it for business. For example, you have the IBM, International Business Machine. It's a very big organization that can help you to give you support and also softwares that can be related to business. Also, you have some labor projects, for example, for management. You can use actually CRM, which is a customer relation software. It's one of the software that if you customize it, for example, if you studied Oman, and you wanted to help Oman in the free and open source software, so you choose a software, for example, CRM, then you customize it for Oman.
Okay.
So you change language, interface to be suitable for society, business here, and then you start distributing it, but with a price. That price is not for the software itself, it's for the support, because companies need someone who have knowledge and who is able to customize or help in improving the program for their company. So it's used in business this way. You have customized. That's the most powerful thing that you can do. I mean, like in business.
Using open source gives freedom for the people to change, modify, and do whatever they want with the
Yes.
source code.
However, you have license sometimes. So, for example, you have different license. I'll mention the license, then some small details according to business. You have, for example, AGPL, JBL, MIT, Apache, BSD, MBL. Some are business friendly, some are not that business friendly. For example, the AGPL, it's a very strong license. It have restrictions for the users. How? Because you can't change the license, So if you are willing to use their code, you can use it, you can modify it, you can study it. However, when it comes to distributing your own customized source code that is relying on their source code, or in some parts, then you have to give them all the source code of your own software. That's for the AGPL. However, GPL is kind of not so much restricted. However, there are restrictions if you are willing to only sell these softwares that you already customized. Then you have to pay. Then you have to give them and share the source code of your old program to the public. However, if you are just not used in commercialization, then it's okay. You can keep the source code for yourself. MIT, Apache, BSD, and MBL are business-friendly license, so it's okay to use, sell, modify, distribute the way that you want. Yeah.
Okay. Now, with the freedom, sometimes comes people who have bad intentions to play with it and add some kind of things that can hamper the application. What's your thought on this?
Okay. Those people, for example, you say hackers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so these hackers, they can see the code, they can modify it, they can use it in their bad intentions. But can they also use the closed source softwares?
No, they can't.
Yes, they can.
You're right. Yes, they can, but they cannot modify the closed source.
They can disassemble the source code of the closed software, so they can modify some things. They can modify and then release an image of it and then distribute it for people. So the bad intentions are everywhere. We have it even in closed source, even in open source. So they are both. They both can have those hackers.
So it applies in both areas, closed and open source.
Yes. However, in open source, because of the millions who are contributing and seeing what's there on the internet, what's the source code, what are they using, it's more safe because all these millions, all these eyes are on the software. So anyone can modify, solve the bugs, they can patch it, they can send it, they can solve it. However, in closed source, if there was a problem, a bug or something, no one can see it.
Okay.
And it's still a problem that exists, and a hacker can use it. If you have a bug in a closed software, a hacker can use it, can modify from that bug, and can hurt people.
Okay.
In a more powerful way.
Yeah, okay. No, I respect that fully, Hadeel. Tell me one thing. Is free and open source same thing?
No. Free you mean in terms of freedom, and or as in form in a matter of price?
So free price, I think.
Is free in price?
Yeah. Is it free price? Yeah.
Free as in price. You can have it free, but it can be open source. It can be not open source. In terms of free as a price. But open source are the things that are applying to the 4 rules of use, distribute, study, modify. Okay. So, and in open source you can use it for commercialization.
Okay.
Yes. However, if it was free but not open source, then you have restrictions there.
Okay.
Yeah, as in terms of price.
How can people contribute into an open source platform?
As a normal individual user, just learn it. So you just Google, open internet, search, see your potentials, and then what can you do to teach others, also the softwares, for example, the open and free softwares that you're using. But as a professional or someone who have knowledge, you can start customizing the softwares, and then you can just give feedback online and give the efforts that you are putting on this software online. So for example, if you have a bug, you just make a patch for it, you solve it, and then you send it online, so you are solving this bug. That a contribution in a way of customizing. Hadeel,
I've met a lot of people in information technology technology and specifically in open source, people who are involved and so on. I can tell you one thing: you are a pro. Do you know that? MashaAllah. You speak very well. You're passionate. You experience and you work with it, and that is a very, very good. May Allah open for you a door of success في الدنيا والآخرة يا رب.
Inshallah.
We're going to take a quick break and revert back to our interesting discussion today on open source and the society you have at the Sultan Qaboos University. Welcome back to Knowledge Talks, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host Tariq Al Barwani with you here live today on Oman Radio FM 90.4. Our guest today is Hadeel Al Sayed, a very bright and talented student from the Sultan Qaboos University, who is here with us today live to speak about open source and the open society at the Sultan Qaboos University. Hadeel, tell us about the FOR3S. What is it?
Free and Open Source Software Society.
Why 3?
SSS.
Oh, I like it. That's creative. That's very, very nice. And this was founded in 2010.
Yes.
Now you guys are 6 years old, and you said you're going to invite me for the big cake once it is ready.
Yes.
What was the objective of this foundation or this group?
Mainly, we started to spread awareness. We wanted students to start using free and open source softwares, to start contributing in this universal community that are using it, and also we wanted to reach a level that we are speaking to the professionals, doctors in our university, that we have a chance here in open source software that won't cost you that money that you're paying for closed software, and it's a big and very strong alternative for the programs that you are actually using in the university.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Why is the FO3S important?
Mainly because of our work right now. For example, in the university, we have workshops. So we have events. So one of them is like workshops. For example, we give about Linux, GIMP, and WordPress for websites and Arduino, Android, Python, C++, Java, Blender.
You do have also Android development? So,
Yes. So you can attend one of our workshops.
And how many days is that?
Well, it depends. When usually students are giving these workshops, they're professionalized in their own,
area.
Or subject area. Yes.
Very good.
Yes. And so, yeah. We have also Blender, if you're using for Blender, or CLI, LBI, Raspberry Pi, Inkscape. We have all these workshops, and also if you are a student who is willing to give additional workshop, we are also always, inviting them and giving them the chance to teach people.
What are the goals of this society?
So the goals,
To promote open source, I think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are promoting, we are willing to teach students, to help them in their final year project students are coming to our society. They're asking us of how can we design a website, how can we make a website, how can we link hardwares to softwares, and we are teaching them all by using open source softwares. Yes.
What are the events that the society has done so far?
Mainly workshops. We did also the Open DVD campaign. It was a campaign targeting students in schools. So we had a competition and to actually design the Open DVD campaign, CDs and releases. We had also workshops there, Inkscape for students, and so we gathered them in the university. We gave them an idea about open source softwares and their potentials. We distributed the CDs of an Open DVD CD, which you can see the CD or the release in mirror.squ.edu.om. You can download the Open DVD and you can see what's there. It has everything from applications to programs, things that can help you in your study or games or
Okay, when is the next event happening? When is the next event the society is happening?
Well, so far since last week we did finish the information security gathering.
Okay.
Yeah. So now we are just having some break.
Okay.
And then we will start by workshops.
Okay.
We have, for example, GitHub, Blender for gaming. We have from sensors to website, and also we have a Raspberry Pi workshop. These,
Awesome.
yeah. We will start sometime around next week or after the next week.
Who owns this society?
In means of what?
Ownership of the society.
Well, we have.
Is it owned by Sultan Qaboos University? Is it owned?
It's between ITA. It's a corporation.
CRC,
ITA
okay.
and the Communication and Information Research
Okay.
Center.
Okay. And who is funding for it? Is there anyone funding for it?
Yeah, the ITA.
ITA are funding
Yeah.
for the project.
Yes.
That's very, very awesome. What is the next steps for the foundation?
Well, we are trying to gather students now.
Okay.
In order to have them working on projects, projects targeting either business or projects targeting ministries, for example, if they want anything for management, some things like that. We have the projects ready, but we are just looking for students and gathering them, the ones who are specialized in every area, and then giving them jobs to, for example, ITA did contribute also to the society. And society of of free and open source software around the world by working on Scribus. They are making it in an Arabic version, and how can you write from right to left. So we are doing something that is similar. So we are gathering students, we are working on a project, and we are also spreading awareness. And so the next goal or the next step is to just have them working on projects, and it's a very big and a huge step, because this contribution can change a lot of things around the world, or actually in Oman. If you customize the software in Oman, then it's a very big step into business and into society. You can do a very big step there.
This is a very exciting program today, Hadeel, about open source. You explained it very, very well, mashallah. And also the fantastic community and society you have at Sultan Qaboos University. The FO333S is amazing, and definitely it's doing something good to give people understanding of open source and the different technologies that are out there, and definitely getting students to be ready for the market as well, and giving them a job opportunity, mashallah. So well done to you and all the team involved for this exciting project that you're doing. Anything that you wish to share to our audience before the end of our program today?
Well, I would like to invite them to join our society. If you are willing to give any workshop, if you are willing to contribute in any program, or software, just please come to us or contact us. You have us on Twitter, you have us on Facebook, Instagram, you have us everywhere. So just contact us. We have our own email. You can see it on. Just log on to Twitter and then or to our website fo3s.org, and then just try to contact us. Sure, we will reply back and have you in our lab.
Hadeel, thank you very much for joining us today on Oman Radio FM 90.4 to share about the definition and benefits of open source, so as the free and open software societies in Sultan Qaboos University. I take this opportunity to wish you and all the team members the very, very best, and I would like to take this opportunity to wish you the very best and success in all that you do, Hadeel, mashallah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our program for this week. I hope you all had an intriguing time with us. Let us catch up again next week on Tuesday, same time at 5 p.m. for a knowledge session. I'm Tariq Al-Barwani, wishing you all a happy and a pleasant week. Ma'a salama.